Hey, what up, YouTube? I'm gonna make this video today going over your best bang for your buck, cheap, budget, super entry level, foot in the door, uh, home theater setup. So, if you're anybody like me, you know, um, you jumped into or you're looking to jump into the home theater game, and you're just like, where do I start? What do I need? You start doing research, you start watching YouTube videos and just a bunch of different things are getting thrown at you. Um, you probably even jumped into this because somebody said, "Oh man, you're still using that sound bar, or worse, man, you're using TV, the TV speakers. Like, come on." Um, or you went to a friend's house, a relative's house, somebody's house, and you watched a movie, you listened to music, you did something, and you walked away from that experience a changed person. Um, So now you're just like, what do I do? What do I need? How do I get what they got? Because what they got cost an arm and a leg, and you might not be trying to spend an arm and a leg type of money. So if we're just going, especially if you're in this for movies, like you want to actually truly be able to watch movies in what basically everybody would consider Atmos, true surround sound setup, or at least the minimum for that, that would be considered a 5.1.2 setup. I want to say technically even a 7.1 setup uh, also counts or works, but I just go with 5.1.2. So what does that 5.1.2 mean? It means you're going to have essentially five, I guess you can say, floor level speakers, right? So that's going to be your front right, your front left, your center channel, and you're going to have two surround speakers behind you. Typically at an angle, that angle depends. There's a bunch of diagrams, a bunch of setups, a bunch of different things you can look up and you know exactly where to put your speakers and how to angle them and everything. Um, but long story short, your couch or your chair that's right in the middle of your TV, typically everything is going to be angled toward that. If it's a couch, a three seat couch, you're going to want that three-seat couch with the middle seat pretty much centered on the TV. Um, Usually, there's a there's a guide on how far the couch or seat should be away from the TV based on the size of the TV. I want to say if it's a 65-inch TV, I want to say it's 10 feet or something like that. And I know that might sound crazy. You're like, I'm gonna go blind, but in reality, I mean, it really is kind of preferential seating. Like, take your couch and move it 10 feet away from your 65 inch and just sit there and watch TV, or specifically watch a movie. Turn the lights off, all those things, and just let it soak in. Sit right in the middle of your couch, watch that movie from 10 feet away. Um, Now I've been rambling. It's already three something minutes into this video. Let's get through this. We're looking for like what could potentially be the cheapest setup possible. So we're looking for something less than $1,000. That's typically the thing that stops a lot of people from jumping into this hobby. uh, is the price of this stuff. I'm one of those people who bought I want to say my soundbar when I got it years ago. That might have been $1,000 plus soundbar. And it was a good soundbar. But what I've gotten out of my home theater setup makes the soundbar look like nothing. Um, yeah, I don't regret buying it at all, but it's just a different ball game. So first thing you're gonna need your AVR, your audio video receiver. You can go straight to the Denon website and get yourself a S760H. Specifically, just get one that's refurbished. There's no reason to buy this brand new. Most people, if anything, and they're going to tell you if you're trying to jump into the home theater game, probably not to buy everything brand new. So it's perfectly fine getting this refurbished. Um, Denon, probably one of the best, most known names in the AVR game. Typically, I only recommend Denon and Marantz to people. So this is who I'm saying to go with. Starter AVR, get you a S760H. You notice it says 7.2 channel, 75 watts, 8K AV receiver, right? 8K content don't even really exist, so don't worry about that part. We just know that it supports the number of speakers we're going to be using, and it actually allows us to have two subwoofers. That's what that point 2 stands for. So actually, let me go back because I forgot to forget it. I forgot to finish explaining what a 5.1.2 is. So you have the 5 speakers, your one subwoofer, and you're going to have 2 height speakers or Atmos speakers. They're height speakers. So they're height speakers because they're typically up higher, angled down at you. So a lot of people, you can mount them in the front, you can mount them in the rear. If you go to somebody's house or a real true home theater, where thousands of dollars have been invested in it, they're in the ceiling, right? But height speakers, that's what that point 2 at the end is. So in this case, it's saying 7.2. It supports basically 7 speakers and 2 subwoofers. All you need is this AVR S760H. Like I said, you can go straight to the Denon website, buy one refurbished. If you're going to buy one second hand, make sure whoever you buy from, test it out. If somebody's against you testing an AVR, I wouldn't even buy it from them, right? If they're selling it for $200, which is a deal because you're getting another $100 off compared to what getting it refurbished straight from the manufacturer would cost, right? The least they can do is, have 2 for something speakers that they can, just plug in real quick just to test out, right? That would be the thing that should be happening. Okay, so here's your AVR. We're going to get into the speakers real quick. We're going to fly through this because time is going. For entry level, like this might be the basic of the basic of the basic, purely entry level, you're going to go to this website, Parts Express, and you're going to get these speakers. You're going to get the Dayton Audio B65 speakers. These are going to serve as your front right and front left speakers. These are going to serve as your front right and front left. You've noticed $70, MSRP $120. These aren't bad speakers. There's a lot of people who, like I said, they would recommend this to you. Like if you were doing basic entry level and you just wanted some speakers for your PC or just some speakers to listen to music to, hook up your record player to, right? You don't have to jump all the way to enthusiast level at the beginning and blow thousands of dollars. You can start with something like this, simple as that, and go from there. Alright, like I said, once you're done with the setup, it's gonna beat, hands down, it'll beat any soundbar you throw at it, like hands down. So we're gonna start with getting one set of the B65 speakers. You can get them in black as well, same exact price. If you want these wood grain, whatever, they're nice, they're fun. But this is what we're getting for our front right and front left. Next, our center channel. We're just gonna go with the matching center channel. So in this case, the C40. Typically, I almost always recommend get a matching center. Most people are gonna recommend whatever your front right and front left are, get the matching center. Center channels are definitely more for TV and movies because all the spoken audio that's going to be coming out of your TV is really going to come through the center channel. So if you ever get like a 2.0 or 2.1 setup and you just have the front right, front left speakers and a subwoofer, but you're watching TV or listening to movies and it's just like, like the audio seems low. It just sounds like when people are speaking, like it's just not there. You need a center channel. So the minimum when you're doing a home theater or just audio setup in general, and your thing is TV or movies, it needs to at least be a 3.0 or 3.1. You don't necessarily need a subwoofer all the time, but at least a 3.0. You want that front right, front left, and center, or even tower speakers. Me personally, I like bookshelves. They're just easier to place. Towers can take up some space. Okay, this one's important. These are the B40s. Now, if we go back to the B65s, B40s a bit smaller, we're going to use this as our surrounds. We're going to use this not only as the surrounds, but we're going to also get a second pair to use as our height speakers. So remember, the B65s, these are going to be our front right and front left. The B40s are going to be our two surround speakers, and then we're also going to get another pair as height speakers. All right. So we should have two of these in our cart. Last, subwoofer. Just for the sake of the minimum setup, we're gonna go with a sub 1200. Now, the reason why I keep saying the minimum setup is because a lot of people, like, once you're in the game, like, they're gonna be like, man, get that second subwoofer, get that second subwoofer, get that second subwoofer. Um, Another interesting thing, you don't have to match subwoofers per se. So if you get this sub 1200 right now, and down the line you're like, I want an SVS sub, I want to upgrade that, feel free, get that SVS sub. You do not have to necessarily match your subwoofers. I would say don't just listen to what I'm saying, do the research, because maybe there is a level of matching that needs to happen. Maybe they need to be the same wattage or, same size, but you don't necessarily have to have like two of the same brand, is what I'm trying to say. I've seen plenty of people who have two subwoofers and they're not identical, right? So in this case, unlike when it comes to the speakers, right, matching front right and front left, you want to match with the center. When it comes to subs, they don't necessarily have to match, but we're just getting one sub anyway. So I'd recommend the sub 1200. If you're in a smaller space, there is a sub 800. So that is an option as well. The sub 800, 135. Sub 1200, 180. So if I look at my cart, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So right now we have all the speakers we essentially need for our 5.1.2 setup, all for essentially $390. We know tax is a thing, so be prepared to pay like $420 or something like that, right? But we got our sub, we got our center channel, we have our surround and heights, and we have our front right and our front left. Right? That's all we need. We have literally 5 pairs of speakers and one subwoofer. Now I'm also going to run everybody through the other things you need when you're, doing this. Speaker wire. I recommend Max Bright. You can go with Mono Price. Max Bright is very solid, very good priced. What you're really looking for, and typically my go-to is this 14 gauge or 14 AWG speaker wire. Key thing, oxygen free pure copper. That is a key thing when you're buying speaker wire. It needs to say oxygen free pure copper. And like I said, 14 AWG or 14 gauge, that's typically what I go with. There is a little bit of a science to the different gauges of speaker wire. But 14, I want to say majority of people would be like 14 is good. Like 14 is all you really need. So we got our speaker wire. You're going to need your wire strippers. It doesn't have to be this specific one. I want to say I have these, but it doesn't have to be this specific one. You just want to make sure you got something that allows you to strip these bad boys, right? So you're gonna split it. You got your red. The other one that I'm pretty sure isn't marked is black. You need these to be able to strip and get to that copper, right? Next thing, and I'm gonna go into this a little bit. I'm not gonna try to spend too much time. I know I just hit the 15-minute mark. Um, you do not need, this is optional. You do not need banana plugs. It just makes life and things a bit more convenient when it comes to disconnecting, right? If for some reason I know down the line I'm gonna upgrade my speakers, I'm gonna move things around, right? It's easier when you have banana plugs that you can disconnect from the speaker and from your AVR, right? When you don't have banana plugs, you kind of have to manually take that copper and wrap it and twist and do things like that. Banana plugs, you just, set them up that one time and you're pretty much good to go. So here's the thing about this. This is 20 pairs. We only have 5 pairs. Or no, I got that wrong. We have 7 pairs, right? 7 pairs of speakers, right? We have front right, front left, so that's 2 speakers. Uh, Surround right, surround left, height right, so that's 6 speakers, and then the center, 7 speakers. For each speaker you have, you're essentially gonna need 2 pairs of banana plugs. Why? Because you're gonna have a banana plug that goes into the back of the speaker, but then you're gonna have the banana plugs that are gonna go into the back of the AVR. So just quick simple mental math. For every speaker you have, you need 2 pairs. If we have 7 speakers, we're gonna need 14 pairs of banana plugs. Okay? So this is 20 pairs. Clearly that's more than what you need. But for right now, I know it says limited time deal. This is on sale. You're better off just buying the 20 pairs for $34. Because 9 times out of 10, I'm going to show you this. Here is specifically 14 pairs. 14 pairs of Swell brand for $46.33. That don't make sense. I'd rather just get the Mono Price. And Mono Price is actually a brand a lot of people would recommend anyway. You get Mono Price, you get 20 pairs. That way in the future, if let's say you decide you want to set up your record player or get something like a Weem amp and 2 more bookshelf speakers and set that up in your kitchen or your bedroom just to listen to music or who knows what, well, guess what? You already have 6 additional banana plugs. So you're good. You're just better off buying the 20 pairs for $34. Now, if for some reason you see this video, this is no longer on sale and they're back to $52 or whatever, I'd recommend looking this one up and buy 3 sets of these 5 pairs. Right? We're doing math, right? If I get 5, 10, 15, okay, that gets me to over the 14 that I needed, right? So here's option A. Option B, worst case scenario, you can buy these. And then last, you'll need an RCA cable. You can go at Mono Price. This is a 25-foot Mono Price. I've seen 50-foot ones. Like for instance, they have 15. They have 50. Here's the weird thing. Why the 50-foot cost less than the 25? Don't know. Why does the 10-foot cost less than the 6 and the 3? I don't know. I can't explain these things. But a lot of times you're like, why would I need a 50-foot RCA cable? Well, this is for your subwoofer. And subwoofer placement is a science. I'm not about to get into the subwoofer crawl. That's not my area of expertise. But that is a thing. A lot of people like to put their subwoofers next to their couch. So you're for sure at least going to need a 15-foot, right? If my couch is now 10 feet away from my TV, and my AVR most likely is probably right below, right next to the TV, right? I'm gonna take this cable. Hopefully you have like a area carpet or something. Run them cables underneath that carpet. You will never really notice that they're there. Like, that is God's gift to earth, is area rugs. Lay it out, run the cables underneath, and there you go. 15-foot cable. You can go with 25 just to be safe, but 15-foot cable. You now have your subwoofer right next to your couch. You might have the subwoofer in the corner. You might have the subwoofer right next to the right. There's a bunch of different setups on where you can put your subwoofer, but you do need this cable. So let's go to this price. That's $90 essentially for everything you need to put all of this together with this. So we had $299, $389.90, and $89.51. That comes out to $778.41. So you just for sure got yourself a far superior setup than any TV speaker or soundbar. For, let's do tax with this. I'm in Chicago, so 10.25% for $860 for me. $860. I just upgraded my entire movie viewing, TV viewing, music listening experience, hands down, for $860. Peace.